Hey guys, hope you're all well and welcome to another episode on this beautiful day on my LS1 GU. So today we're going to be doing something a little bit sad to it, but it's a step forward to getting it registered. We're going to make it street legal, so we're going to be taking the 4-inch lift out of it and putting the 2-inch lift in. So here we have everything we need to put the lift in. So apart from my spring compressors, which I still need to go get, we got our new high lift jack, springs, our Gaddle ton, jolly tack, ox absorbers, bulltocks, and stack jams. Pretty much everything we need. That's what we used last time when we got the springs out of the white GU. These are the springs out of the white GU, so they're 2-inch, and then these are the front shocks, which are brand new. I literally put them in the GU, took them off-roading once, and then they go on this thing now. This thing has Fox springs and shocks in it. I'm going to be leaving the rear shocks in it, and then just running the 2-inch springs and taking the front shocks out, put the brand new ones in because I got brand new bushes and everything. So, but don't worry at all, because we're going to be going back to 4-inch and 36s straight after I get the plates for it. Now I have run into a bit of a major issue on the Patrol. Took it out for a drive yesterday. We actually have power steering, thank God. I got the power steering working. It just had no fluid in it. A couple of subscribers reached out and said, whack some ATF in it. That should do you for now until you get some fluid, because you can't go to any shops because of stage 4. By the way, guys, we just had the conference about an hour ago, and we have an extra extended 2 weeks of stage 4 after next week. So 3 weeks left of stage 4 lockdown. So that's a bummer, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Gives you more time to fix this thing. But we have run into a little bit of an issue with the transfer case. It was all working fine. Like I had it in 2 high, it worked fine. But as soon as you take it out of 2-wheel drive, it just won't go back in, and it stays in either neutral, 4 low, or 4 high. Now could you just stay in 4 high, but I really don't want to. I just want to be able to put it in 2 high. I don't know if it's a shifter thing or it just needs a new transfer case. That's fine, I'll put another transfer case in it. I did it before and it was a lot easier than changing the box, I'll tell you that. So worst case, I'll get it registered, just leave it in 2 high and don't touch it, and then when we get it registered, we'll pull it out and put a new transfer case in it. They're not too expensive or hard to source. But yeah, so we should get started on this so I don't ramble on. Yeah, I'll probably just lift it up from the sliders or something, because I don't want to lift it up from the front bar, and we'll just do one side at a time and then sit it back on this side. It's got no sway bars in it, so the axle should flop around, hopefully. And then I've got a sway bar in the boot, so I'm going to put the front sway bar in. That way it's just easier to pass roadworthy, because you need sway bars for roadworthy. And yeah, but yeah, it's just, I took it out before, I put it in 4 high, and I went for a drive with power steering. It feels like a car again. It doesn't feel like an absolute nugget. And yeah, it drives so good. Had it running for a long time too, and no leaks, no nothing underneath. So I don't know where all the power steering fluid went. And I just got all the windows down to let it air out a bit, and got all the interior in, so looking like a car again, except for that. So I reckon I'll jack it up and start getting ready to take the wheels off of it. All right, now it's jacked up high enough. I just got the jack under the diff, just to jack up the diff slightly, just to get the wheel off the ground, buzz the wheel off, and then drop it down. It should all hang down, and we can work at getting that spring out. All right, wheel off, and we're left with all the good bits. So first of all, undo the shock tower. That'll let the suspension sort of droop a little bit more, and then we'll compress that spring and pop it off the little dicky thing down there, and then whack the 2-inch one in there. 2-inch one should be a lot easier to get on, so let's do it. All right, first of all, we're gonna crack this top nut here. That was being an absolute pain in the ass for me, because obviously the shock body is gonna twist as well. So you gotta find a way to lock. So there's a washer in there that I've clamped the vice grips onto, and it's sort of hard up against the inside of the tower here. And then what I did was put the spanner on the top, 19mm, and then slide a 17mm over the top, and that'll give us enough leverage to turn it. And now we're getting it to turn, so that's good. So I'll keep doing that until that comes off, and then the bottom one last, we'll just undo that with the gun. Slow process. Wish I had ratchet spanners. I always say that and I never get a set. I can't even go down to Bunnings. Slow and 30 wins the race. All right, now top one's undone. Now you just got to do this bottom one. Obviously keep in mind how the bushes go. It's pretty easy anyway. I sort of mimicked them on the old shocks, how they're gonna go. Whack them out. Hopefully that'll drop the axle a bit more, and get the compressors on this spring, and hopefully kick the springs out that way-ish, like we did on the old car. If you remember the old video, or not old video, video from a couple weeks ago, we took the lift kit out of the White Patrol, so hopefully not too hard on this one. Well, it is 4-inch, not 2, so might give us a little bit of strife, but see how we go. Coming out, beautiful. See if I can get it up, one hand on the camera. Yeah, push them up, and then squinch. That's one out. Fox, there's it. Look at that, that's cool. Probably could have left them in, but I want to put the new ones in just because they got new bushes and shit, and they're brand new shocks. But I'm not going to run these ones forever. Fox one's back in when we put this 4-inch back in. I'll just drop the axle and see how far down we can get it. All right, now we've got the compressors sitting on there. The best advice I could say is get them into an easy spot where you can actually get the socket onto them. So you can see there's a hole down here. I can get the socket up, and then when it wants to, I can get it on the end there. And that's okay. And then obviously this one on the outside's a lot easier. What we want to do is just get the bottom bit just to get a little bit up, because we still can lift it up and down. It's not even touching up the top here. It's still got like another that much till the top of the tower. Yeah, and then once we get to a point, we can lift it up and hopefully just push it out that way. That's the plan. With no sway bars on here, it's a bit easier. Yeah, let's do it. These spring compressors are an absolute lifesaver, guys. Get them, they're like 30 bucks. All right, 1 4-inch spring out, 1 2-inch to go in. Also, the spring is labeled to right hand, so it's driver's side. As you can tell, the way the coil so it matches this one, and you can see the significant difference. This one is completely compressed as much as I could, and this one is open, and look at the height difference. So when I uncompress it, it's going to be even longer. So this one should just sit in. Oh, it's so good going from a freaking 4-inch to a 2. Didn't have to use the compressors to get the 2-inch back in, and yeah, shockers just sort of fell in there. So bolt them up and then do the other side. All right, top one's done up. I'll just buzz that bottom one. And we have a 2-inch lift in the front right hand corner. Now 3 more. Oh, it looks so gross, but oh well. All right, other side is off. This side has the 35-inch tire on it because my other tire, my mate's borrowing because he had to use it as a spare. The 35 off, and just gonna do the same thing on this side. So we'll just undo the shock first, drop the shock, and then lower the jack so the spring comes all the way down, put the compressors on and whack that spring out. There we go. Needed a big Ugga-Duggers. That one just fell out. Removing that other 4-inch spring was a fucking pain because I think because the 2 inches in the other side, it hasn't got as much articulation in the axle. So I had to get like this bar, shove it through there, stand on it while having this long screwdriver and prying it on the spring just enough to just slam it out, and then the fucking thing just flew out. And then whack this one in, and now that's in. And put the shock in, and the front end's done. Beautiful. Alright guys, so we got the front end all done and it looks hilarious. It's like full like funny car, pro stock car style, so it looks hilarious like a dragster. But I ran out of time to do the rears, so I'll come back tomorrow and we'll do the rears. And yeah, we should have it all done by tomorrow. God, that thing is so much easier to move with power steering. So you can see, it looks hilarious. Obviously, it's got the 35 on the front, so it looks even funnier on this side. But it's been about like 3-4 days since the last filmed the front end. So, oh Jesus, I made it very tight through there. So yeah, so today we're just going to do the rear springs and drop it all down. So it's going to look exactly like my old one, but red. It's going to be funny. 2-inch and 32.8s. Also, good news, I ordered a full 3-inch exhaust for it. So it's from the bit that's broken all the way back to the rear tailpipe, and it's got a muffler, so it should sound nice. Get rid of this X-Force system that's seen better days. I mean, I could repair this one, but it's not worth it, especially when we need to get a roadworthy. So yeah, so we're gonna make this car closer to roadworthy today, and then when the exhaust comes, we'll whack that on. That'll be even closer. And then I've got to put the transfer case back into 2 high, and then I think that's pretty much it after that. And then we can just tick a few things off the list, like we need to get the speedo working. We got all the lights working, which is good, and headlights and indicators and all that stuff. So yeah, let's get into doing these rear springs. It's gonna be fun. All right, so we have the car jacked up on the rock slider here. I sort of put the jack on a little bit of an angle like that just so it doesn't try and topple over. I find that is pretty effective, and the jack's pretty dead straight. Even when we're lowering and raising the car, the jack doesn't move. Both front wheels are chocked. We've got a jack stand under this side. I'm gonna put another jack stand just under the front there, just for extra safety, can't have too much. And then we've got the jack up and down here on the axle. And then we have our spring. I've already undone the shock, so that's just hanging off the side. That's just 17mm nut at the bottom there. So you just pop that off. Make sure you keep the axle jacked up as you pop the shock off, because the actual axle will stop drooping from the shock. And then if you take it off, it'll be so hard to get this thing off. So jack it up a bit, take some pressure off the shock, lever it back. And yeah, the spring, which is loose. So I'll put the compressors on and we should be able to just slip it past that little cup in there and put the new one in. All right, I got the compressors on. They're not even, but because I couldn't get this one on this bottom coil, which I wanted to do. So hopefully just compressing it like this should just give me enough room. Alright, so that's a 2-inch on this side. It's still going to sit high at the back because we've still got one 4-inch spring on this side we got to do. So once we do that, it should all lower and look pretty crappy, but it's just a pass roadworthy, make it all street legal. Cool, so we got this side's axle all dripped all the way to the ground. It's actually not the furthest it goes because it's like stuck on the jack. So that spring's sort of just sitting in there. So hopefully if I just give it a yank, it should come out. Oh, they're big springs. You want the spring to sit in there, so the coil sits in its little spot. The back was so much easier than the front. Far out. Put the shock on, just put a little bush in there, a little washer, and then, yeah, nuts. And then give it a good old zippy zippy. Well, there you go. That's what it looks like with 2-inch lift in it. I know it looks gross, but it actually looks, yeah, it looks exactly like my old car, but red or burgundy. Yeah, it looks exactly like my old RD28 car. Same wheels, same lift in it. So it's pretty much a lot of it is living on inside of this thing. You know, the radio, all the stuff that's under it. Spare wheel, the rear bar, the roof wing, all that shit's off my old car. So it's sort of living on, which is cool. Tow bar. But yeah, Jesus Christ, what a difference that makes. Before it looked like a monster, now it looks like just an ordinary car. I need to figure out that transfer case as well. I've got to get that back into 2-wheel drive. So I got to take the shifter off and put some vice grips on it. Like I said, if anyone knows if they have like a shifter issue or something in them, let me know. Yeah, it goes into gear fine, like when you're doing it by vice grips. So as soon as you put the shifter on, it sort of just like stops going into 2-wheel drive. It just goes into 4 low, 4 high, and neutral, so it's weird. It probably will need a new transfer case, so that's all right. I've taken the old one out, I can put the new one in. No dramas. It's all part of having a project car, I guess. Now guys, I do have to really specify this is a project car. It's not just a car I got. This is a project, so it's not everything's gonna work on it. That's why I got it for cheap. So I think now's a good time to talk about costs now that we've put the lift in. So how much does the car owe me overall, and how much have I put into it ever since I've brought it? In the first video, I told everyone to guess in the comments how much I paid for the car. A lot of you were in the bracket quite well. To give you a sense, the last owner paid around 20 for this, and the first owner I think sold it for like 20, and another guy got it for like 16, but it's gone for in the mix between the 10s and the 20s for the last 8 years or whatever it's been. The guy I brought it off, which is a mate of mine, Sam, he sold it to me for 5 grand, and obviously it wasn't running, it wasn't driving. He said just come grab it, 5 grand, take it. So yeah, it owes me 5 grand just as it sits. But I parted out my white car. I've made 4.5 from parting that out, and I still have stuff to sell, but I haven't been able to sell things because of the pandemic. So technically, I'm in this car for 500 bucks because I made all my money back from what I paid for it. The adapter plate was 250 or 300. I can't remember to get repaired. The exhaust I just ordered was 300. To buy the 36s is about 500. Once I make the rest of it back from the white car, I'll probably be in this car for about 1,500 bucks. So I'm hoping to get this car on the road for about the 3 grand mark. And then we'll have a running, driving, LS Patrol registered, engineered for about 3 grand. So that's my plan. You can always do it on a budget if you try. If you know how to get your hands dirty and work on cars, get one that's fucked, put your money and time into it, and bring it out on the road. Be smart about it though. Don't go dumping loads of cash into it, just be smart. And the good thing is, if this engine ever blows, we got a spare just over there in the VL. And you know, gearbox is what, like 500 bucks, TD gearbox, 600-700 bucks, whatever. And then transfer case is a couple $100 bucks there. Yeah, in the first 4 weeks we've owned this, we've managed to get it running, driving, start, stop, power steering back, pretty much a car again. It's just the only thing that makes it feel like a bit of a bucket is that exhaust leak. So once we get the exhaust next week, we'll fix that. And we've got 135 on this side, so it drives weird on the front end, so we just got to fix that. And then once we give it a good polish and clean up all this bar work and paint it all underneath, I'm going to paint it all underneath and do all the coating and coat the rock sliders and all that. And yeah, once it's all buffs out, you know, we'll get all this pinstriping out of it from the bush and paint all this bar up and stuff. We're just going to make it look schmick. All right guys, I'll show you what I mean by what's happening with the transfer case. So I've got it all disassembled again on the inside, taking the shifter off, taking the little pin and nut off, selector, all our shifter linkage. I've got a spanner on it. It's a 12mm on the end of the shaft. Right now we're only getting one engagement. Put it on the end for extra leverage, so it's like a shifter like that, and we push up. Yeah, it's sort of just jamming. And I've rolled the car back a few times and pop the clutch and wiggled the gear, and it's not shifting. When we put the transfer case in, it was going 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4 backwards and forwards. So you had 2 high, neutral, 4 low, 4 high. Now it's just like jammed in like neutral and 4 low or 4 high. So I can't even drive the car. So yeah, fun and games. Now we have a transfer case that's stuck in 4 low. So I can't get out of 4 low. I'll show you what it's doing. It's very, very bizarre. For some reason, so it's in 4 low now. And 4 low is usually a bit further back here. Neutral, which is here, where it is right now is usually 4 high. And then if I push it forward, right there is 2 high. Now, we can't go any further back than that. That's stuck there. And for some reason, that's 4 low right here. We push it forward, that's neutral, and it gets stuck in there. So it's only got this range of motion. It's supposed to go all the way back to here, all the way forward. So right now it should be in 2 high, but it actually is in neutral right now. And if we push it back like that, it clicks in the gear, that's only 4 low. So I can only move the car and drive it in 4 low now. And I've actually taken the shifter off, as you saw with the spanner, and tried to go through all gears. It's only stuck in 2 gears, no matter how much I yank it. And when I put the transfer case in, it selected all 4. So that was a bit bizarre. But I might have to try and free it up a bit again, maybe tomorrow when I have some more time, and hopefully we can get it loose. Yeah, probably have to put another transfer case in it. So if anyone has one, hit me up on my Instagram or my Facebook. I'll probably put a post up on the patrol pages, try and find one. And it's going to be hard with this pandemic to try and go find one that's local, but we'll see. Hopefully get one freighted down or something. Oh well, another thing to do. So we'll add it to the list. So here we have our ghetto list of things to do. So now we can cross off 2-inch lift. That's done. Now at the bottom here, fix transfer case. So let's go to the list. What have we done so far? We've got clutch and adapters done. That's all fixed. Exhaust, that's on the way in freight. So we're gonna wait for that to come. Don't know if it's gonna be a straight bolt on, so we might have to modify it. That's okay. Fuel leaks fixed. Mounting ECUs all done. We've still got to fix those leaking swivel hubs, that's okay. Remove the gas system, that's probably going to be next because I just got to remove everything. Clean up interiors done, 2-inch lift, we did that today. Barn door lock all done. Clean up headers, haven't done that yet. I'm just going to scotch bright them and then probably paint them up. New headlights, got to get headlights because the old ones are full of dirt. Clean up the snorkel hole where they've cut for the hole in the bay. I've got to clean all that up and plate it and fix it, which isn't too bad. Just got to make it look all schmick and like it's not even there. Install radio, I've installed it, but I haven't actually hooked it all up, so that's sort of a yes and no. Battery box and bracket, that's inside. Rear main seals all done. All new gaskets put on. I found out most of it had new gaskets anyway. Paint all the bar work and wheel wells, that's sort of wait till later. Bolt down seats is done, tow bars installed. Fixed transfer case, that's probably the biggest thing next. It's always when you build a car, sometimes you gotta add things to the list, and if they're big things, you try and tackle these first. So hopefully I can get a case for it. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this episode, please leave a like and leave a comment as always. And if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. If you like the build series on the patrol, I really hope you enjoy it as much as I do. It's a lot of fun just to sort of get into a new realm of engine swapped vehicles and sort of learn about them as well, and can't wait to actually drive it and get on the roads. And we're getting closer and closer to being able to be back out again legally, and we can actually go drive, and not even just the 4-wheel drive, just all the other cars, so we can all have some fun. I miss cruising in the Skylines. I miss it all. So I miss drifting, I miss track days, everything. Hope you enjoyed this little episode on the GU, and hopefully see you in the next episode. So see you later.